we're going to talk about more of how the evolutionists and their bizarre theory is so outlandish. And not just that, it's that every evolutionist you talk to that watching this video, you ask them, did humans come from monkeys, chimps, or gorillas? They'll say no. They will say no. Who said that? But I'm about to show you what's in school books, what's in videos, and the general idea of evolution. All right? Blacks have been brainwashed and indoctrinated into this idea that they were from Africa and that they evolved from apes, or not apes, because these evolutionists, their semantics is something else. You can't use apes because they say humans are apes, which is preposterous. But we're not gonna say apes because evolutionists will use that against you. I'm saying gorillas, chimps, and monkeys. All right. They say that they depict that blacks are from gorillas, chimps, and monkeys. But when you ask them that, many of them are white. And you ask them, and you say, oh, so you're from a gorilla, and they'll say, no, I'm not from a gorilla, but they'll imply that blacks are from gorillas and monkeys and chimps. But in this video, I'm just going to show you how this video has over 13 million views. And this is a widely accepted belief, theory, which is completely false and completely outlandish. Like, how in the hell can anyone believe this shit? But I'm going to point to you at how many times and how many different videos with millions of views depict that blacks evolved from monkeys and evolved from gorillas. Again, evolutionists, you ask them that blacks or humans come from gorillas, they'll say no. They will always say no, which is, again, they're either dumb or they don't want to say blacks came from gorillas in their belief system, in their evolutionary theory. So let's take a look. This video has over 13 million views. All right. We're going to fast forward it because I don't want to get copyrighted or none of that shit. So
their upper and lower limbs were the same size. They moved leaning on open palms instead of bended fingers. Quite a few fossils of proconsuls have been found in East Africa. The skull was primitive, the brain small and rather simple.
Again, Africa blacks.
Yet the comparatively small size of their muzzle But 10 million years ago, a drop in temperature made the African jungle sparse, which rendered it impossible.
Another thing that these evolutionists do is they just make up names. They just make up shit and say it's scientific, and then everybody believes that shit. Because a man said it's a scientific name, which must mean it's true. Don't fall for that shit. It's all bullshit.
To move from tree to tree via branches. Forced to leave the trees, the descendant of proconsul, Ardipithecus, began moving on their rear limbs. Their feet were still prehensile, but with special arches that allowed bipedalism. The nearly complete skeleton of an Ardipithecus named Ardi proves that these creatures were able to walk, albeit not as easily as we do. The arms of Ardipithecus were knee-length, and the hands were half human and half ape-like.
Say half human and half ape-like. Now, when you ask evolutionists they will say that apes and humans are one and the same, because that's their semantical tactic to try to avoid saying that blacks or humans came from apes or monkeys or chimps or gorillas. And they'll just say, oh, humans are apes too. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. That's what they do. And you see how he just contradicted all of the evolutionists that said half human and half ape.
Length, and the hands were half human and half ape-like.
Again, they use semantics to get away from what they believe in. That's why they call humans apes. Oh, we're apes. Humans are apes. You're apes, and apes are our nth cousin, and all this other dumb shit.
The first steps were taken to climb the next tree.
Now, you see, they put the breasts on this ape monkey to make it half man, to make it appear as half man, half woman, or a half monkey and half black female.
Ardipithecus didn't want to leave tree crowns, their habitual homes.
Blacks didn't want to leave trees. Blacks didn't want to leave trees. We didn't want to leave trees.
They were indeed the intermediate between humans and apes, as all of Artie's features mediate entirely ape-like and entirely human features. But life moved on. Looking on two legs was not, and were they. Moreover, they were curious. Their skull was still ape-like, with an obtrusive muzzle and receding forehead. At first glance, it is hard to detect our features, but the head was held on the upright neck, on the Rubicon of brain size. 5 million years ago, our ancestor Rubicon of brain size, 700 grams. The first representative of our genus, Homo habilis, handyman. He got his name for...
Now, in Africa, who's in Africa? Who do they say is in Africa? Blacks. All right. So they just took a gorilla to a black man.
For a reason. It was Homo habilis who was the first to make stone tools. These primitive choppers made from pebble with a few predator forward times. The world was perilous, but intelligence made it possible to overcome difficulties. It was not power or aggression, but intelligence that protected the first humans. The skull of Homo habilis is very much like that of Australopithecus, yet the brain size was 600 to 800 grams now, 1.5 times as much as its predecessors.
See, the brain is getting bigger. And they said that the first blacks had small brains. Now, as they're evolving, their brains are getting bigger. But if you ask an evolutionist who's more evolved, and they'll say it's all equal. But this is not the case. This is a straight contradiction of what they're saying. They're saying in this video is that the bigger the brains, the more evolved the human is.
The face became smaller. Around 1.5 million years ago, a new species appeared, Homo ergaster, working.
A new species appeared. That sounds like creationism disguised as evolution. Magically appeared. A species appeared. It didn't say that the apes or the other species birthed another species. It just said one appeared. Let's go back and listen.
Around 1.5 million years ago, a new species appeared, Homo ergaster.
Out of thin air. Out of thin air. All right? Just appeared. Now, this is evolutionaries now.
Working man. They became the
Wait.
Homo ergaster, working man.
Working man.
They became the terror.
That's a black man in Africa.
Homo ergaster, working man. They became the terror of the African savanna. Spears and stone tools were an unprecedented phenomenon. Even the fiercest animals weren't safe from harm now. Man became a hunter. Skeletons of antelopes and even elephants, surrounded by stone tools, have been found in East Africa. Cut marks on animal bones are visible evidence of a new stage of our evolution. Possibly, this is around the same time humans first discovered fire, albeit the evidence of that is rare and unreliable. Quite a few fossils of the first humans have remained in East Africa. The ape-like legacy in the skull was now in the past, but their jaws were still large and their brains twice as small as ours. Their height and build were exactly like that of modern humans. Their bodies, except for their heads, were hardly any different from ours. They settled all over Africa and were the first to move beyond. The last step was to colonize the planet.
The first to move beyond. So they're saying that blacks birthed all of whites and Jews and everybody from Africa. But if you ask them, were their great nth grandparents gorillas or chimps, they'll say no. Again, evolution is the most racist theory imaginable. It says that blacks came from gorillas and monkeys, and blacks gave birth to whites, or another version is that whites just magically appear. But blacks for sure came from monkeys and gorillas, while whites and Jews just magically appeared. Don't buy this shit. Don't teach your kids. Don't let your kids be taught this evolutionary garbage. Let's take a look at another video.
Millions of years before industry, agriculture, and
This one has
civilization,
21 million views.
the world stage was set for one creature's unprecedented ensemble cast. About 7
Now, was that...
stage was set.
Now, look. Again, you ask any evolutionist, did blacks come from gorillas, or did humans come from gorillas or monkeys and chimps? They'll say no. But they will, again, don't use apes, because they'll say, oh, well, humans are apes and apes are different. No. Gorillas and chimps. This is what they're depicting. Let's rewind.
Agriculture and civilization, the world stage was set for
Monkey.
one creature's unprecedented
Man.
rise.
White. See how they did that? You see how they did that? This got over 21 million views. It goes from monkey to black man to white man. White man is more evolved than black man. Let's watch it again. Y'all think I'm bullshitting.
The world stage was set for one creature's unprecedented rise.
Y'all seen that?
Rise. Stage was set for one
Monkey,
creature's
Black
unprecedented
man
rise.
and the white man. Last time I checked, blacks ain't having white babies.
The story of humanity's evolution began about 7 million years ago, when the human lineage broke away from that of chimpanzees.
See, they won't say that humans started out, evolved from monkeys to chimps. But that's exactly what this video is saying. Let's rewind.
The story of humanity's evolution began about 7 million years ago, when the human lineage broke away from that of chimpanzees.
So, chimpanzees. They're saying chimpanzees had to give birth to humans. That's exactly what this says. Chimpanzees walking along, and then boom, humans. Chimpanzees had to give birth to humans. Which makes no damn sense, but this is what evolution teaches.
The story of humanity's evolution began about 7 million years ago, when the human lineage broke away from that of chimpanzees. Over time, an ensemble...
See how that worked. Monkeys, then the blacks, and then to whites. Watch.
cast of over 20 early human species, or hominins, came to the fore. Most became extinct, while others might have been
Yeah, it's convenient they became extinct, but chimpanzees and monkeys and gorillas still here today.
An ensemble cast of over
Again, that's bullshit. Their evolution is bullshit.
20 early human species, or hominins, came to the fore. Most became extinct, while others might have been ancestors to today's humans. Each species...
There we go. The blacks, the monkeys.
exhibited
Look at that.
varying degrees of human-like physical and behavioral traits, such as large brains, small teeth, bipedality, and tool use. These hominins fell into three major groups: early hominins, Australopithecines, and Homo genus.
Now, if you ask any evolutionist who's more evolved, they will not give an answer because they don't want to say in their theory that whites are more evolved, because obviously if blacks came first, whites were last, then whites and choose would be more evolved. But this is all a psychological attack.
Humanity's earliest relatives lived between 7 and 4.4 million years ago in Africa. Having most
They love saying that blacks came from gorillas and monkeys. They love saying that shit. Love it.
recently shared a common ancestor with chimpanzees, they had
Blacks came from chimps.
many ape-like traits, such as a small cranial capacity. However, fossils show that some ancient hominins were also beginning to show human-like characteristics, such as small canines that were likely used more for eating and not for hunting or fighting. The next phase of hominin evolution involved primates called Australopithecines. They lived between 4.4 and 1.4 million years ago across the
Now, it's funny, it's really convenient that these beings just magically disappeared.
African continent. Like their ancient brethren, Australopithecines had some ape-like traits. However, changes in the skull, spine, and legs indicate a notable shift toward a very human-like trait, consistent bipedal locomotion. The third and current phase of human evolution involves members of the genus Homo. The earliest Homo species likely date to more than 2 million years ago, making them a contemporary of some Australopithecines.
Boom. Whites. The little whites disappeared.
Homo species likely date to more
Blacks.
than 2 million years ago, making them a contemporary
Blacks.
of some Australopithecines.
Whites. See how they did that? See how they did that? It's racist.
Species
That's all
likely
this shit
date
is.
to more
It's
than
just
2 million
racist
years ago,
disguised as science.
making them a contemporary of some Australopithecines. But unlike earlier hominins, who exhibited a mosaic of ape and human-like traits, Homo species were becoming distinctly more human.
White
Their
people
cranial
becoming
capacity
distinctly
was
more
growing
human.
larger than any other hominins. They developed sophisticated stone tool technology, and they became the first to control fire. These physical and behavioral adaptations, along with advancements in technology, allowed some Homo species to be the first to migrate out of Africa and explore the rest of the world. While a cast of over 20 hominin species have walked this earth, only one remains. Homo sapiens.
Look at the white boy. Look at the white boy.
Shaped by millions of years of evolution.
They the latest and greatest. Told you it's racist.
Embarked on a journey of exploration and industry its ancestors could have only dreamed.
Blacks came from monkeys and gorillas, and whites just came from who knows where, because last time I checked, blacks don't have white babies, gorillas don't have human babies, but whites are the latest and greatest.
Only one remains.
White
Homo
boy.
sapiens, shaped by millions of years of evolution, embarked on a journey of exploration and industry its ancestors could have only dreamed.
Told you. Evolution is being taught in school. It is racist, it's bizarre, and it does not make any logical sense. Ask these revolutionists, which of your grandparents were gorillas? They'll say none. But then at the same time, they'll say that they related to gorillas. You can't be related to gorillas unless gorillas are in your lineages. Right? 2, when the gorillas start having human babies? Why aren't they having human babies today? 3, did the chimpanzees have black babies and white babies, or just black babies? They had just black babies. Where did the white babies come from? The blacks have white babies? Oh, blacks didn't have white babies? Oh, so whites and Jews just came from a different origin. Right? Folks, don't accept this psychological attack of evolution. It's bullshit. Does not make any sense. So in the comments, oh, this guy doesn't know anything about evolution. Well, again, I just showed you 2 videos with millions of views, and this is the gist of evolution. So you cannot deny that this is what evolutionists believe in, at least the mainstream. Maybe some side chains of evolutionists believe in some other bizarre theory, but this is the mainstream idea of evolution. So evolution is garbage, this theory is garbage, and if you're an evolutionist, you're fucking mentally ill. I'm out.